Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
And it is your boy Taco Bell Oney. I've got to start this video off with an apology to anybody that might hear the background noise. We've got a real life episode of Jerry Springer going on outside the door. You know, I've got roommates and I've also got a family member that kind of doesn't have a place, so now they're staying with us, so now they're getting into it. Bro, it's like big drama show at Full Time's house. But with that being said, we're going to try and avoid that and focus on the UFC, because we've had a big drama show going on in the UFC. Hell, we started off with Tony Ferguson versus Khabib, ended up with Max Holloway versus Khabib, then Pettis versus Khabib. Now we got Al Iaquinta versus Khabib. This insane UFC MMA weekend is all coming to a head tonight at UFC 223 in Brooklyn. But with that being said, another part of this week was the Conor McGregor melee madness that happened at the Barclays Center, where like Mac Life guys from Conor McGregor's team who were press credentialed let Conor's crew in after the hotel lobby confrontation with Conor McGregor's teammate. He called gang. Crew flies in, they get let in, they start throwing shit at the bus trying to get to Khabib for touching his teammate. All of that madness. Now 4 fights are canceled. One fight got canceled because of the involvement. Artem Lobov's fight got canceled because he was involved in the incident. 2 fights got canceled because 2 of the fighters in those fights got cut with some of the glass. And then on top of that, another fight was canceled because they had to take Al Iaquinta out of his fight with Paul Felder and plug him into the main event. Even though Anthony Pettis probably could have, you know what I'm saying? There's just so many moving pieces. Al Iaquinta got the call. Now we got Al Iaquinta, the lone New Yorker on the Brooklyn card, headlining versus the Russian Khabib. This is absolutely insane, everything that's been happening in the UFC this week. But it also left some questions. Okay, now that there's 4 fights canceled, this isn't the fighter's fault. It's not like their opponent missed weight. Even then, it's not their fault. If you show up to fight and your opponent misses weight, it's not your fault you missed the fight. Sometimes the UFC pays guys whose opponent can't make the weight. Sometimes the UFC doesn't. Well, in this case, Ray Borg, he was injured, so his opponent, Brandon Moreno, doesn't have an opponent now. Anthony Pettis doesn't have an opponent now. Paul Felder doesn't have an opponent now. So all of these guys who thought they were going to be fighting and possibly winning fight checks are left without opponents. So Dana White did come out and say, yo, I'm going to pay all of these guys their money. When Ariel Helwani asked him at the presser, he said it's going to be just their show money, which is completely reasonable. I mean, you, of course, in a fucking, not even a perfect world, that wouldn't even make sense to pay every single fighter their show and win money. It's like, what? You didn't win a fight. You know what I'm saying? You weren't guaranteed to win money, but I do understand where people are coming from. Well, yeah, I didn't even get the I planned on winning. Now I don't even get the opportunity. But to counter that, also, Dana White did say, like, you know, yeah, they're going to get paid their show money, and we're also going to get these guys rebooked. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be mad at that. If you were going to fight this week, you get paid like you fought, and instead you also get to fight like next month, and you got the same opportunity to win. You might have the same opponent. Who knows? It might be a different opponent because some of these guys got injured. So, for instance, Brandon Moreno might not get to fight Ray Borg next month because Ray Borg might have some glass in his eye or something. But still, he's going to get an opportunity to fight next month or whenever, sometime soon. So not only did he get paid for this madness and this melee, he's also going to get paid for another fight sometime soon. So, you know, a little unfortunate, but at the same time, you can't be mad because now you're getting an opportunity at double pay, essentially. If you win your fight next month, now you got paid for a fight and you got paid for that little bus ride and stuff like that, all this madness. And then on top of that, if you were in the bus and you got cut with the glass, you might be looking at a lawsuit. That's what, you know, has been going around. The word is there's quite a few people that might be suing Conor McGregor after this incident. Even Dana White and the UFC are pretty pissed off at Conor McGregor. Well, Dana White seems like he is. I don't know about the UFC necessarily because it's been pointed out that Dana White called this the most despicable thing in UFC history. But if you go to UFC.com, they got Conor McGregor with the dolly, like, like charging the bus with the hand truck. Like on UFC.com, you know, you see is Conor McGregor. And then at the same time, the embedded video, the most recent embedded video, episode 5, had like different angles of the Conor McGregor and like where, you know, the cameras from inside the hotel where allegedly like the Mac Life guys let him in the back door. So that embedded episode's already got like 2 million views or more in like one day. So, Conor McGregor costed the UFC some money, but he's also making it back. I ain't mad at the UFC, like Bellator. When Conor McGregor scaled Bellator's cage and put his hand on the referee, Bellator put that shit in a commercial. And it made their event sell that much more, and it was on tape delay. Like, what? Conor McGregor did this? I can't wait to watch. Now, this is a little different, but at the same time, because he's not scaling the cage, and they're not going to be airing this later. But they aired it on the embedded, but Conor McGregor just costed the UFC money. I mean, I don't think people can sue the UFC here. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's Conor McGregor that's in the majority of the hot water. But still, if the UFC has to pay 8 fighters or 6 fighters for fights that they're not fighting, Conor just made 6 fights fall through. There's going to be some people returning their tickets. There's going to be some people that don't buy the pay-per-view because Conor McGregor did this shit and the UFC 223 card got gutted. So the UFC's like, well, shit, we got to make some of that money back. We know even if this is bullshit, it's going to sell. You know what I'm saying? Even if Conor McGregor's got to deal with this, but we now have to also, we're still a promotion. So, I mean, some people are like, oh, how can you say this is the most despicable thing ever and put it on the front page of your website, advertising it? Well, in my mind, it's like, because they got to make some of that money back that they just lost from Conor McGregor. And yeah, the UFC, as the promoter, they'll probably end up making more money than they lost. Because I don't know how much they have to pay to these fighters and, you know, pay to fix the bus. But they're going to get a lot of attention from this Conor McGregor flip out. So the Conor McGregor, the UFC is going to get paid off this. Conor McGregor might get sued, and the other fighters are going to get their show money. And some fighters might even continue to sue Conor McGregor. I'll keep you guys updated. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.